strike.
Hello, welcome to the Reloading Podcast here on the Firearms Radio Network. I want to take time to thank Jake and Ryan over at Patriot Patch Company. That's patriotpatch.co for their bandwidth sponsorship. Make sure you check them out. Patch of the Month's always awesome. I can't wait for October's. Should be coming soon. Excuse me. And I want to thank Sean and the gang over at Firearms Radio Network for giving us a place to hang out every week.
Amen.
So, I know Sharonda's running late. I know Travis is running late. I'm not sure about Jason. I forgot to text him. So, but we do have Nick and Ray back to talk some more milsurp stuff. Since,
Good evening.
We had to cut it short last time. So,
and like almost always, Jim is here somewhere. And the wife beater is behind me. The beating wife. Ah!
Harder.
Uh,
Next time, use a baseball bat. Hey, Nick. Hunt Shoot Off-Road wants to know, is that a brass goblin tee under the jumper?
It is not. I didn't wear it yet. So it's still sitting in dirty clothes, needing to be washed. So,
Aha. So, Jim, what you been up to?
well, my son Troy came down from Pennsylvania over the weekend. Came down Friday evening, and he and I went shooting Saturday afternoon. He shot his Ruger precision rifle in .223, and he was hammering steel at 250 yards, no trouble at all. And then a guy was shooting. I have video in the iPad. In here, I have video in the iPad of me shooting his Ruger 22 Wrangler. I shot my SR40C, and I decided to, I get ahead of myself. We also shot his Black Rain Ordnance 9mm pistol caliber carbine. That thing is an absolute joy inside of close quarters. It's got an AR up lower, but it doesn't have a stock on it. It's got a brace on it. Mm-hmm. As you guys know, braces were designed for people that are handicapped and they can only shoot with one hand. Well, anyway, this thing, you talk about close quarters fight. I would take that over an AR any day. But anyway, 9mm, we burned 30, 40 rounds. I'm surprised how well it did. He hasn't even sighted the damn rifle in. I'm still on paper. Well, carbine, pistol caliber carbine. I can't call it a rifle. But shot that. And then yesterday and today, I worked on a little project. Mike, zoom in on me, please.
Do we have to?
Yeah. I'm going to hide my face. Don't worry. You guys might know what you're looking at here.
ingot mold.
That's exactly right, Ray. That's exactly right. It's an ingot mold. That's all it is. These things are 5 inches. These cavities are 5 inches long. The handles are 8 3/8 long. That's the handle right here where I'm tapping. 2 of them. And it's 1/4 inch steel. It ought to last me my lifetime. Welded up on top, up on the crest down in here. And shut up, Mike. I don't even know what you said, but shut up anyway. Anyway, so I've been busy and been playing around a little bit. Hunt Shoot Off-Road, I'm not sure. Oh, door stop. Thanks, Idaho. I like that. I think that's going to give me about 2 pounds of lead, Hunt Shoot. 2 pounds of lead per cavity. I'm guessing. I don't know yet. I could measure and trig it out and all that, figure out the volume, but, at this point, who cares? But what's nice is I will be able to take and put my ingots in this way, and they'll just melt down as they get warmed up.
There you go.
Anyway, how about you guys, Nick and Ray? What you guys been up to this last week or two?
My bullet mold and dies came in for my new rifle, the 41 Swiss. So get those. Wait till my brass comes in, hopefully next week or the week after, and get the rifle converted and start shooting it and reloading. Yeah.
Nick, well, I think we discussed that before, but tell me the particulars about that rifle. What's the bore diameter on that rifle?
So it's anywhere from what did we get? Grab that note. We just slugged the bore the other night, so we're gonna grab the note with what it slugs at.
Measure the slug.
Yeah, we got to measure. Let's measure. So it measures at.
I'm gonna zoom in on you guys so you can show everybody how you're actually supposed to measure the slug.
What I did, we went out and bought muzzle round balls, and then we've got them in the 451 diameter because I knew that'd be slightly bigger than the actual bore.
Mm-hmm.
Right there, you got it. Nope, that's your. There you go.
So mine does at a 429. And if you want to look at, when you slug a bore, there's these parts here that is the grooves of your rifling, and then you got, I call them the flats or the tops of the rifling.
The
lands, yep. You measure that, and that gives you your diameter. So what I'll do,
you don't use 41 caliber bullets. You use actually 430 caliber bullets.
Yeah. So yep. You start out with a regular round ball and lube up your inside of your barrel. Push down, and what it'll do is it'll form that right there, and you just measure off that. So this mold is supposed to throw a 430 diameter. So I'll probably just leave it.
Well, you look cool when you measure.
Yeah, then I'll measure it again, and depending on what the diameter is at that point, I might buy a sizing die or I might just leave it. So.
Well, Nick, you remember I said that I fire my bullets as cast, so you won't go wrong. I don't think.
Yeah. Nice thing about Lee with their sizing bullet sizers, lead round sizers, they have 430, 427, 428, and 429 all ready to be just bought from Titan right now. So I could, depending on what I wanted to size them to, I could be perfectly fine no matter what. So.
Myself, I didn't do any reloading this week. All I did was take inventory of what I got. I'm getting ready to go out on the road for a week-long road trip for work. And I'll hit all the reloading stores and stuff on my whole way there and back. And if I find anything I need, I'll buy it. And I tend to find better prices on the road than I do locally. So,
isn't that awful?
Yeah.
Looks like Travis is selling out.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like Travis has lost every piece of gear he ever had. No, I know Travis has been spending some big money on reloading. Big money. In remodeling, yeah, you're gonna spend some pennies.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
No, he's not didn't spend a lot. He was just driving by construction sites and picking up scrap.
Well, they don't need it, right?
Exactly.
They wouldn't let you out if they didn't need it.
Right.
Free. Sometimes there's free tools. Yeah, free tools, wood.
Travis, what are we looking at? Are we looking at the wall that used to be behind your camera?
No, I actually rotated. So what I did was I doubled my size of my reloading room.
Yeah.
So for those watching and those listening, right now in front of me, I'm looking at what you guys normally saw was my 1050 and stuff. So I'm looking at that now. So that reloading bench is 30 feet long. And now behind me, I actually built this section here is going to be the studio. So I got some cool ideas going to happen right here for the studio. And then running along this direction is going to be a 20-foot bench. That's going to be hopefully a bench I'll use for reviews of items. And at the end of that, I'll put in some of my precision stuff. And then going that way is going to be a 6-foot section of bench that's going to have my casting area and wet tumbler and stuff over on that section there.
Don't forget your ventilation, Travis, whatever you do.
I got just started tape and texture. This is the last section here. I got plugs. I bought Romex. I got to run all the plugs along the wall there. paint, hook up the lights. So I'm pretty excited. I've been wanting to do this for a while.
Fat Elvis is picking on you, Travis.
I better go log into YouTube and check out what's going on.
Travis,
Sure.
with the
So yeah,
There's Mr. Trumbo.
now that one of my kids has finally moved out, as soon as he gets the rest of his crap out, I'll be doing some converting. The room behind me here, that doorway, is going to be the new reloading room and podcast area. So,
Nice.
unfortunately, I do have to share it with my wife and make part of it into a craft room, but that will be behind a divider.
Well, just the corner, right?
Yeah.
Travis, have you ever met Nancy? Nancy Island?
Maybe she's walked by and stuff.
Yeah, I
No,
think walking by, but that's about
no. If she says Mike is going to get the corner if he tries that stuff.
it. So,
No, she's a nice lady. She really is.
hey, Travis, you have volunteer labor.
Yeah, I see that.
You better take him up on that.
Idaho Rogers, you know how to run electricity?
I do. But I'm not flying out there.
Unless Travis is paying the bill.
Nope.
I'm still not
I
flying out
can find cheaper labor.
there.
black to black, white to white, green to green. That's it.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so that sounds like Mike and I are kind of upgrading our studios here. Like I said, for me, this is actually going to be dedicated studio here, and I'm hopefully going to move. I got a bunch of, you guys have seen it before. I've got old antique bottles of powder and stuff. I've sent Mike some. I'm going to kind of decorate all that behind me here.
Pretty cool.
Oh, sorry to hear that, Idaho.
Yeah, sorry, Idaho. He just posted his dad passed away last Monday.
That's why he wants a distraction.
Yeah, that sucks.
Well, I was actually I haven't told him yet, but I told Mike the other day I was kind of wanting to get this all nice and fancied up, and then I was going to ask Idaho to come over here and join us on a podcast.
Yep, so he's working on we're going to get him set up so he can have some of the area people in his area stop by and say hi too. So
Fat Elvis has got a question already I'd like to address if you guys don't mind, even though we haven't finished with what we do.
there you go.
Fat Elvis 111, he has a question. Do you guys know if a FNFAL chamber is fluted like the G3, like the H&K stuff? He might buy one and was wondering if it buggers up the brass after it's ejected. Fat Elvis, I have reloaded the fluted brass you're talking about with the striations on it. It came straight out of an HK Model 91, and it was no problem at all. The only problem with it is the HK design is really severe on the body of the brass. When it comes out of the ejection port, it kicks ass. I mean, it'll put a dent in the side of the body. That's the only thing I could say about that.
FAL
Anyway.
standard chamber. Okay.
Yeah. I have a Century Australian style L1A1 that I picked up in the past December, and I haven't had any problems. Fat Elvis. I've shot surplus ammo. I've shot reloaded ammo. I've never had a problem. And nice thing about mine doesn't throw brass actually super far, because FALs and G3s are known for throwing brass 20 yards sometimes. Mine doesn't throw very far at all, which is nice.
Keep your gas adjusted down.
Yeah.
Don't overgas it.
Don't overgas. That's another big thing with the FAL. You can adjust your gas system to where it's just perfectly gassed. So
Yeah. Nice.
Okay. Well, let's go back to where we were talking about what we did for this week. Who was up?
Well, Travis was talking about his stuff. Are you done, Travis, or you got more?
Well, just other than that, I have been reloading and reloading in the midst of remodel. And I mean, if I showed you guys what this section looked like, it is a disaster. It looks like a tornado hit. So I gotta I'm pretty anxious to get the bench and stuff made so I can actually move some of that clutter back over here and start reorganizing. But that's about it. So do you hear what Idaho's asking you, Mike?
Yeah, I saw that, but which question? That one?
I think that was directed exclusively at Buckeye targets.
Yeah, I'm looking to see. I don't see another question.
Idaho Rogers, USMC, if you would please repost your question.
Hi, Gracie. Thanks.
Yeah, I don't actually see another
Squeaky?
question either.
Hi, Squeaky. Squeaky the bunny eater. She got a bunny in the yard the other night. This question?
Well, he's not talking to us.
Right?
Yeah,
There it
his
is.
CSR Industries.
Idaho Rogers, USMC at 8:05 p.m. Alex, you can ask 10 reloaders that very question.
That wasn't a question though. That was a statement.
You're right.
So,
Has anyone ever reloaded for 6.5 Jap Arisaka?
Yep.
Well, there you go, Idaho. What do you need to know? There's the man to ask right there.
I didn't see that one.
Right here, second scroll.
I don't see it either.
It's at the
Alright.
bottom.
There we go.
He just posted the question again.
Yeah, Idaho Rogers, I have. Nice thing about PPU makes brass. I think you can convert. That could be a whole nother topic, but I just picked up PPU brass and standard 264 diameter PPU bullets and just went from there. I did a lighter load because I didn't know how my rifle would handle it, so I started on the light end, and it shot fine. I'm gonna have to neck size my det brass because it's down near the rim of the brass. I'm getting some case separation, so I'm gonna just neck size. That's something just like it's starting to go out of headspace. That's just something to watch for. I've read on those 6.5 Type 30 Arisakas have that problem, but other than that, it's a sweet shooting rifle.
His follow-up question on that particular topic was, what kind of headaches is he in for? But you seem to have addressed a lot of that.
Yeah, the only headache I'm starting to run into is the case separation. But other than that, that's
the same 6.5 bullets as a lot of the other 6.5s, and
yeah.
you know, this neck size, once you've got it fitted to your chamber, as long as you're not bouncing from gun to gun to gun, you can neck size it and you should be fine.
Hello, Jared. How is things in Iowa? Throwing out a shout out. That's a good one, Chris Sharp. Let him ask you this, Nick and Ray. Is there any round that you haven't reloaded for when it comes to military?
There's a lot. And as I said, as I'm going into this one, this 41 Swiss, I never thought I'd get that one. There's a couple I'm already looking at doing, hopefully within the next year start, but it all depends if.
Well, you're looking at Dutch Beaumonts.
Beaumonts, which is another crazy one to get into. It can get pretty difficult. I'm fortunate enough I'm on the low end right now, and this is where I'm starting to jump up to converting brass. But after this, it's another big step up. So
I think I asked you last time you were on, Nick, but what kind of bullet weight are we talking about for the 41 Swiss?
So the mold I got was a 310 grain.
Okay. And your velocities, it's a rifle cartridge, am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
So the velocity you're looking at?
1,200, I thought.
Yeah, it's anywhere from 9 to 1,200, depending on your powder charge. I'm going to start about, hopefully if I can get 1050, 1100. That's where I want to push to start out. If I can get there and not hurt the brass or hurt the gun, I'm hoping that's a good starting area to start out at and not go up and then.
Well, that'll leave a mark even on steel, even on
Oh, yeah.
AR 500. For 310 grains at 1,100 feet per second, that'll leave a mark.
Mm-hmm. So I have a couple questions.
How about moving the case?
So Fat Elvis 111 wants to know, after how many firings, only using neck sizing in between, does brass resemble the true headspace of a bolt rifle chamber? Of a bolt rifle's chamber?
I don't know that one. Do you know?
Usually after the first time.
That's usually as
that's
far as
the
I
whole
know.
purpose of neck sizing. Because once it
Yeah.
expands, it fills out that chamber. And at that point, as long as you're putting it back in the same gun, all you should have to do is just neck it, with your necking ball, and that way the bolt sits right back down in there. Now they claim after about 5 or 6 reloadings, you may have to bump the shoulder back just a little bit.
6.5. Show that. That's that jab.
Here's a piece of that 6.5 Nick was talking about.
So here's that 6.5 jab. I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see it. Right. So you see where it goes from dull to shiny. That's
Yes.
that's where my case separation is starting to happen.
It's not really separating, it's just swelling.
It just swelling more than anything. But that's
Nick,
it.
I'm sure Ray knows this, but you know the old trick of using a straightened paperclip with a tiny L on the end of it, and put it inside that case and sweep it out. You should be able to feel the incipient head separation.
Yeah.
I figured Ray would know that.
Yeah, he showed me that one before. So when I
Okay.
first had that with my
That-
303. So
Yep,
Yeah,
that's a good old
Whenever
trick.
like that, you've got to check them. It's just
Well, that's been a problem with the 303, as I recall. It really wasn't designed for reloading.
mhm.
no. A lot of the old military rifles, they stamping them out so quick. The chambers were loose chambers to begin with because they didn't, you shoot it once, let the brass hit the ground, and keep on going. It's just only to 40s, 50s people really got into reloading and taking some of these old milsurp rifles
I don't know where I'm going to put it.
and making sporting rifles out of them. So it's just one of the things you deal with.
Well, as you'll agree, I'm sure, Ray, the military, particularly the U.S. military, they do not reload. They go with new brass, new ammo, everything, period.
Yeah.
Reliability all the way.
Yep.
Hey, Mike, do you want to click on that? There we go. CSR. I have not. That's probably my next rifle I'm going to be picking up. Nice thing about the Hakim, it's a adjustable gas system, so you can run anywhere from surplus 8mm Mauser, reloads, even I imagine you can probably run cast loads.
It's a direct impingement gun.
Direct to gas impingement rifle. The only thing I'd be worried about if you have one, check your gas port, because those are known to be corroded around the gas port from all the corrosive surplus ammo. So that's something I would check before diving too deep into it, if you have one. So
You'll have to forgive a neophyte, but what is a Hakim?
So the Hakim is built on what's known as a Youngman's receiver system, which is a direct gas impingement. And if you're used to a Grand, this is completely different in certain aspects. So how it works is you have a carrier and then you have your bolt. The carrier rides over the bolt and the bolt rides back into the carrier. And that's how it operates on a direct gas impingement system. It's a true direct gas. The gun was built in the 50s on Swedish equipment that the Swedish sold to the Egyptians.
It's the brother to the AG-40.
Yeah, a brother to the Youngman, which then they did the Hakim because there was so much leftover 8mm surplus ammo. And then after that, in 1960, for 1 year, they signed the what's known as the Rashid, which is kind of looks very similar to an SKS. And I have one of those. That's a sweet shooting gun in 7.62 by 39. Yeah, they only made them for 1 year, so they're pretty rare to see in the U.S. Yeah, and at CSR said Hakim thumb or Youngman thumb will take your thumb off. So mine's in the other room. I'd go grab it, but it's in the other room. Yeah.
So he says bought some PPU ammo and was popping primers out of the cases. After reading online, it was supposed to be good, but I'm thinking it was too hot.
PPU's not known for that, being that hot, especially on that. Yeah, Good. I don't think I've shot tons of 8mm mouths. 8mm through my FN49.
What would pop the
primer? I wonder if it's the firing pin's too tight. No, it wouldn't be that. I would just reload at this point. Yeah. Pick up the rounds just have on hand, but you can buy 8mm Mauser brass pretty cheap. So I would just start reloading that way and figure out a nice load. I still can't. I'm gonna do some research on that. I don't know what that would be doing.
unless it's gas adjusted.
That could be the gas is way
Getting too much pressure back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nothing to try, CSR. Turn your gas all the way off. Shoot one, and if it doesn't extract it, just keep slowly turning it up.
Examine the primer. Too.
Yeah, examine your primer. If it's doing it when your gas is completely off, I don't know what it was.
Well, if you think it do with the gas off, if it's feeding. No,
if it's gas off,
right.
It's a single shot.
So you may be giving it too much gas.
Yeah, and I've had that problem with my FAL. So yeah,
that's all you can do is
play. That's the best way. You're gonna lose brass in the long run, but.
Jason, you can unmute yourself, by the way. Just out of curiosity, did you do anything in guns reloading this week?
I went to my LGS Friday and scored some, what did I get? H110, I got 4 pounds. And they had H4, 4350. They had an 8-pound jug of that, but my wallet just didn't feel like paying for that one. That was a little spendy.
Yep.
So I passed on that.
You would have passed over $200 worth of $200 to get to all that powder. That's 12 pounds of powder.
Yeah.
Then some. Please continue. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's all right. The 8-pound jug was $250.
Ouch.
That's why.
Oh, I forgot. You're out there in the lands of fruits and nuts.
So, but when I walked in, it was like cheers. You walk in, hey Norm, all my buddies are there.
Yeah, they miss you.
That was kind of fun.
They miss your money, buddy.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that I know that don't work there that I work with or know, and they're there. I just walk in and everybody's there Friday afternoon.
Hey, Norm.
So when I got home, I was kind of bitching about the price of the H110 because I paid almost $30 a pound, but I wanted it, so I bought it. And when I got home, the last time I scored some H110, I was looking at the stickers, same price, hasn't gone up. I just forgot.
Yeah, you and I think so much alike.
But that was it for me. What's up, busted can of biscuits? Did you bust a can of biscuits?
Yeah, I busted my can.
Oh.
Now I tore my meniscus disc, and I don't want the surgery, so they're making me do physical therapy, and it reminded me just how fat my butt is. I'm tired.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Well, please don't show us. So you didn't do anything with in the hen's den with setting your shop up?
I did Friday. I actually broke it in. It's kind of interesting. I had the Florida, well, St. Petersburg, Florida, to be exact, well-armed women chapter asked me if I would do a Zoom so they could see how to run the Dylan 550C. So that was a first, and it was fun. So we did that for a couple of hours. And I just went and emptied a couple of magazines, so I pushed my targets out further. Got some practice in at the range. And getting my deer stuff ready. I had a deer hunt next month. I think that's it. I can't really remember.
How about you, Mikey? Did you do anything in Guns Reloading besides working at Cabela's? Unmute yourself.
Everybody prefers me muted, so I don't know what you're complaining about. No, I did not do any jack squat relating to Reloaded, unfortunately. So, other than while working at Cabela's, did talk to 5 people about getting into Reloading. So, but that was it. Wow, Hunt Shoot Off Road. That was a short meeting. So.
You just reminded me, Mike. Acura Outdoors, they had some projectiles available. So for those that hurried and jumped online, they were able to go and purchase some. I can't believe I forgot. I'm actually looking at 7,000 projectiles sitting on my bench over there.
Nice.
Like Jason. Anytime you guys can, I would start getting out there and starting to stockpile this stuff. Yeah, that's funny right there. Prepare to survive, kind of on the same wavelength right there.
What's the limit, Travis? Where do you start? Where do you stop?
What you can afford. I have a comment I'd like to read from Jorgen Rangan, if you don't mind. And he says that every time Sharenda shares stories about all the ladies in Reloading, he's amazed. He's just amazed that there are so many women interested in it. Thank you for all the good work you do, Sharenda Burtz. Thank you, Sharenda, for me. Okay?
Thank you, gents. You know, surprisingly, there's way more ladies interested in it than y'all probably thought and I thought. We're just a little bit more secretive about it.
Yeah, because for one thing, men are intimidating. Men also make fun of dummies, and they make fun of newcomer questions and stuff like that. That has to stop.
Well, you guys don't, at least not to my face.
You'll never see me do that, and you know
it.
I just make fun of Travis. That gets me going. So
there you go. Go ahead.
Well, I think my internet froze for a minute, so I'm sure I missed out on some good ribbons.
ALOX works. ALOX Nation.
Oh my goodness.
Powder coating sucks, and Paul Laud, you're a turd, bird. He thinks I'm going to go start powder coating.
So Jen Champ Jr. says, "Where's the primers at, Mikey?" At the ammo manufacturers' plants.
Yep.
So.
Hey Mike, did someone ask you once where if Cabela's is no longer carrying, or if they're just having a hard time getting in those?
Yeah, somebody asked me, and I still haven't gotten an answer
primers
out of corporate. So,
damn them.
Right.
Amen.
So,
hey, K24's got the right idea. ALOX and powder coating.
Why don't you ALOX your powder coat?
Ouch.
So anyway.
Good question. Whoever that Facebook user is.
Oh.
Yeah, this is a really good question. We should actually do a show on this.
Amazingly enough, we're going to be in the near future, but next week's Shot Shell, by the way. So So basic recommendations. Your first question is going to be, what do you have to spend? Second question is, what are you going to load for? So, I mean, that's kind of your two big questions when you're asking. The question that Facebook user asked was, Mike, what do you recommend to new reloaders when they ask what to buy? So, yeah, my first question is going to be to them is going to be, how much do you have to spend? My second question is going to be, what are you planning on loading? And then we go from there. So if they are on a budget, then I'm probably going to be looking at Lee stuff. Most of the time you can get a Lee kit for under $200, and it's got a basic setup to get them loading, other than powder, primers, brass, and bullets. If they've got more to spend, then you can look at different things. And also it depends on what they're going to be loading for. Now, excuse me, if it's a case of they're going to be loading for just rifle, then it's going to probably just stick with single stage press. If they're going to be doing some handgun stuff and they're getting into shooting and stuff like that, then it kind of depends. So,
You mind if I interject my 2 cents?
sure.
Buy yourself a copy of tell that new reloader to buy themselves a copy of the ABCs of Reloading.
That is a good book.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good way to start. It's a book about reloading. It's not a reloading manual. It doesn't contain any recipes whatsoever. It's about reloading and the associated equipment, and it doesn't give any prices, but it gives ideas as to how you can get set up. You can get set up for $35 if you're willing to tap everything together, tap everything apart. And, if you want to take and work with the Lee, what is that, Mike? The Lee Loader Jr.?
I don't even know what they call it nowadays.
And anyway, it's just a little kit that's about the size of an iPad. But actually, it's smaller than my iPad. Anyway, but that depends upon what you want to spend, like Mike said.
And like Idaho Rogers USMC said, most people buy a kit and end up replacing 75% of it if they follow through with it. And that's true. The kit's a starting point. I'm not going to tell somebody to go out and buy a Dillon 1050 with an auto drive to jump in and start. So I'm not going to, that's not going to be something you're going to start with. You're going to start with something low end, entry level. If they've got more, then I'd be looking at like a Rock Crusher kit or the newer press that they've released. I think Lyman's got a couple of kits now too. So, or like a Redding, if they're into planning on doing some serious precision and they've got some decent money to spend, then maybe a Redding Big Boss or something like that. So
you should be able to get started reloading at least one box of ammunition for under $200.
Mm-hmm.
Now that doesn't mean, you're not going to continue spending money. It's just one box of ammunition. You should be able to get started with $200.
I think what scares a lot of people off is when they get into brass prep. Brass prep's to me by far the longest task in reloading. Once you get your brass ready to reload, the reloading goes quick. And if they're thinking mass quantities, brass prep can take forever. And that tends to scare them off. Then they get a little disheartened in reloading. So,
well, let's face it too, Ray. You and I both agree. We all agree. Brass prep sucks. It's the most boring part of reloading there is. Plus, two, it's the most critical part. You got to check your length. If you got to trim your brass, you have to trim it down. Say 15 thousandths. Well, that's a long way with a hand crank trimmer. And then that brass has to be deburred, chamfered, and deburred. Then you got to take and worry about cleaning out the primer pocket. It depends. If you're on a progressive, we all know that progressives don't clean out primer pockets. But anyway, so it's boring. Simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have to
So-
say, if I know
Yeah.
then what I knew now, I probably would have went ahead and got my Dylan and the Elite Challenger, because some of the ladies and some of the people that I've shown mine to, when people see you demo on, they feel like they have to go get it, and I have to explain to them you don't have to go spend $500 or $600.
Right.
Yep.
If it's somebody that's going to be not only loading for some rifle, but they're also going to be loading pistol and they're going to be shooting competition, then I'm probably, if they've got the money, I'm going to steer them towards the 550.
Yep.
Because the 550 you can set up and run as a single stage, and you can also set up and run as a progressive. We've done a show on that in the past, and not a 650, a 550, because it's got the manual index, so you still control the speed, you still control the operations, and all of that. When you're learning, jumping right into a 650 or a 1050 or any sort of progressive isn't necessarily the wisest idea, unless, here's the qualifier, unless you literally have a mentor that can literally stand right there with you the entire time. Then you can start out with a progressive and be successful. But trying to watch our videos or Elvis's videos or, anything off of, Gavin Tube or the Reloaders Network, anything off the Reloaders Network, and trying to teach yourself how to use progressive that way, it's just not smart. Yes, you theoretically can do it. You could also take a millennial, throw them in a stick shift, and they might be able to figure out how to drive it eventually. But how much damage are they going to cause before they figure it out? So, Jeff McKelvey wants to know, does anyone know if it's legal to ship primers to a friend? Yes, but you have to pay the hazmat fee.
Now, the caveat is if you put those primers into brass and send him the brass, then
There's no hazmat.
No hazmat fee.
What in the dickens?
Yep.
So if you want to send 1,000 primers to your buddy so he can load some 223 rounds, just
Size them up.
load them up in the 223 brass and send it to him that way, and no hazmat fee.
Yep.
Jeffrey, if you want to test that out, I can send you my address and you can go ahead and send some pre-primed.
So Hunt Shoot Off Road said he likes his RCBS Supreme kit. That's a good one to start out with. He uses everything except the loading block. True. Next
What's
question.
wrong with the reloading block?
What's that?
What's wrong with the reloading block?
Not a fan of it because it's cheap plastic and it doesn't necessarily. Some of your smaller cartridges don't necessarily always sit upright in it.
Firing pin issue, I think. Too slow.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it does it.
So-
Okay. So he says the other brands sit down deeper.
Yeah, said
That too.
Okay. I've never used a block that wasn't an RCBS, and I don't have a problem with them. So I was
Right.
asking.
I mean, that's the thing is they're okay.
Oh,
They're-
that's nice.
So if people are looking for loading blocks, our buddy over at Entirely Crimson makes these beautiful ones out of aluminum.
Yeah.
Different. He's got a couple different sizes, but here's some 22 250 that I've got sitting in. And honestly, these loading blocks are beautiful.
Can you give us a link? I didn't catch.
And
Entirely
you know Entirely Crimson.
Oh,
I use my MTM case guard loading blocks. I've used them for decades, and I have no trouble with them whatsoever. And they are multi-caliber.
I just went and got a Forstner bit and a piece of wood and made my own.
There you go.
that's what I
So,
have.
so that's why I don't use the RCBS or anybody else's because I just made my own. Drill press and, bzz, bzz, bzz. And by the way, you can do it with a cordless drill too because I did 2 blocks. One of them I did with a drill press. The other one I did with cordless drill. Oh, I lied though. I do have a Cabela's wood loading block, but that's a deeper one also. So next question. OL1 guy wants to know, on a 303 Enfield with new PPU ammo, it's poking holes in half the primers. Has anyone had that? I've never shot PPU through my Enfield. Nick Gray.
It sounds like a firing pin extrusion issue there.
Yeah, and Jorgen said it right there at 747. Yeah, it could be the firing pin. That's what it sounds like to me, because that's when I've been reading on stuff like that. That's what is usually the issue, is the firing pin is having either clearance issues or the tip of the has a burr on it. That's
Could have burned.
yeah.
The only other thing could be the firing pin could be loose, because I know they're screwed in. Make sure they're tight, and that requires a special tool. But odds are it's a burr, especially on factory ammo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Question. I have a question about that. What should the standard firing pin protrusion be? About 40 thousandths?
Depends on the gun a lot of times.
Right.
Let me grab one. Let me grab a bolt out of one.
Don't like that. I mean, I'd say anywhere between 30 and 50,000, but it's gun dependent. I mean,
Yeah, like what's this one going to be? This one's going to be
right around 50,000.
50,000. Yeah.
I would think it would be relatively standard, because those guns have to shoot the same ammunition that someone else shoots, and my gun might have 75,000 protrusion. Well, I'm going to pierce primers.
Right.
I would think it'd be standardized across firearms. But again, too, that's SAMI spec. That's not.
Well, we're talking milsurp, so
okay.
that's a whole different ballgame, because there's no guarantee that firing pin actually was part of that bolt originally.
Right.
That's part of the problem.
The other thing is, too, different countries have different specs.
Yep. So
Another thing, who had that question? Oh yeah, old one guy. Another thing to look at your on the infield that has the bolt, or the, what do they call that when it's numbered?
It's the bolt face.
The bolt face. It's numbered. That could be some issue, but I do think it is the firing pin. Those bolt faces are known to either have issues a lot of times, and depending on what yours is, that could be causing an issue. But
Well, it could be a headspace issue too.
yeah.
Are you getting a case swell too?
See if you can put that in the comment. If he's getting case swelling, that's another sign of headspace issues.
I mean, if it's getting bad, it's headspace issue.
If you have it. There's another one.
Eat bacon on it.
Yeah. 50 still.
all right. Sorry. Okay. So next question from K24. He says, I've never used the leaf scale. Is it really as bad as some say?
Pitch it. Yeah.
Do it in here.
So the thing with the leaf scale is it is a basic scale, but it is temperamental, and it is a pain in the ass to learn how to use, to be fair. I'm a Leaf fan. I'm not a fan of the Leaf scale. Mine's still sitting in the box somewhere in the garage.
Travis is setting his up.
Yeah.
I noticed that it was apart. I noticed that he had it apart for whatever reason.
I'm surprised Travis still has one.
Yeah. I mean, the problem with the biggest issue with the Lee scale is your 1/10 of a grain measurements are not the 10 grain increments isn't bad. The single grain increments isn't bad. It's the 1/10 of a grain that's the pain, because it's not really precise, to be fair. So, I mean, you can get good with it. So if it's all you've got, then it's all you've got. But there's so many better scales out there.
Yep, Reading makes one. RCBS sells it to the 505.
So
it used to be made by House. I don't know who's making them for them now.
Yeah, but I mean, yes, you can learn to use it, and you can actually get pretty good with it. But like I said, it's temperamental.
Yeah, it's temperamental, but with something like this also, it's not going to be that, precise.
Mm-hmm.
But a guy using this, he's going to be looking more, he might not know it, but what he's looking for is more consistency.
Yeah.
So he actually might be off a little bit from using this, but if he not knowing what's going on, you can get consistent with it. But this if that makes any sense. This just isn't going to be precise, but it might help him be consistent with his loads.
In other words, Travis, you're saying it might be 0.7 tenths of a grain clear off, but that would be 0.7 tenths of a grain across the board.
Yeah, something like that. And then I was just showing, you can see it's got a little ball.
Sure, for that's 10 grains.
Yeah, and that's and that's okay, like Mike was saying. And then you look over here, your tenths, it's like, it's just awkward how to get to it. Like you got to stick your finger, like it's just really awkward.
Yep.
Okay, I see the single grains now. So that must be a plunger of some kind. The single grain.
It's just really awkward to get there. And then you can, you slide this here, but it's just really awkward. It's just, I used this like a couple times long time. I don't even know why I have it.
Collector's item.
Because I'm a hoarder.
Mm-hmm.
When you don't have one, and if that thing may be off 7 tenths of a grain, but if you don't have one, that's a lifesaver.
So Eat Bacon said in the 80s we used to call the older guy teaching us how to load Elmers, as in Elmer Keith. You need to find an Elmer, but YouTube and podcasting has eased up on that a bit. Yeah. I mean, that's why we do this. But like I was saying, that's kind of in response to my finding somebody to mentor you for progressive. So, and there's a lot of good electronic scales out there without going all Paul Nelson and getting his, I don't even know how much his schedule is, or his scale is, but it's quite a bit.
Hundreds of grain.
So yeah, because his goes down to 100th of grain. So, but most people are not going to be able to shoot well enough to have the 100th of a grain difference make a difference. So keep that in mind. So Facebook. Yeah.
Sorry, just real quick. Well, since I grabbed them,
right.
Here's one of the old tried and true. This is one of the better beam scales you can get.
Yep.
So if you had to, definitely if you had to pick one, this is the beam scale I would go with versus something like this.
Yep. Okay, so Facebook user, which it's not showing a name, so I'll have to go find that out, says I have a 57E Springfield trapdoor rifle, more mics out at 512. However, I have cast bullets that are 515. Is it safe to shoot? Note, do they need to be resized?
I would say no. I mean, it's common practice,
right,
to shoot lead bullets anywhere from 2 to 3 thousandths over bore diameter. So,
yeah, he's right in that sweet spot.
Yep.
But I would also suggest that he starts out with minimum loads too.
Yes, yes.
And make sure you use true trapdoor loads, not modern 4570 loads, because I've heard of that issue a lot of times. Yeah. Guns will blow up first shot.
Yeah.
In your face. And that's a trap door. I mean, that trap door is right there by your face when you put the rifle to your shoulder. So, go easy on that Facebook user, whoever you are. The one that owns a 57E Springfield trapdoor rifle.
It's supposed to be 5070. So
57B?
Oh, he must be using voice text.
Yeah. Going back to that firing pin extrusion, Nick pulled the bolt out of our number 4 here, and I'm measuring it now, and I get right at 50 thousandths.
Okay.
And we don't have any issues.
So that was Patrick Sweeney, and yeah, it's 5070 Springfield trapdoor. So, which should be fun.
That's something I like to tease our friend Salvatore Sincamani, who's been on this show. He likes to take and load him a little warm. My hand still tingles from that 454 Casull. Hey, Sal, what the hell you got in this thing? 454, baby.
So So Vanessa wants to know what scales we use. I don't know. I got 3 or 4. So,
I've given scales away.
so I have a. Go ahead, Jim.
I have an RCBS, an old RCBS 1980s vintage, 1010. 1,010 grains it'll measure. And it's made by O-House. And Ray's jumped up to get something. Travis, you like that RCBS 505. Would you use another scale besides it?
Yeah, so I just put in the comments my everyday scale, and it's actually very precise, is this little RCBS Rangemaster 750.
Okay.
So I usually set this one up when I'm loading to check everything, and then if I have a question, I'll go over to this RCBS 505 beam scale just to cross reference and double check everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one I'm using now, besides these for other reloading stuff, is that Frankfurt Arsenal IntelliDropper.
Okay, the Travis at 750, the first scale you brought up, the digital scale. Now, you don't have an automatic powder feeder with that, do you, of any kind?
No, this is
just a scale.
This is just a scale. I took the weights out so I wouldn't drop them and bang them on the table. But
that's fine.
Yeah, I just pull off the 1050, put them in here. The other one I actually really did like that I sold to somebody is the Lyman. Crap, what's it called? Shrinda?
Hold on. I forget, but I wrote it down. Give me a sec.
Is that Gen 6 you're trying to sell, Travis?
Yeah. Yep. The Lyman Gen 6. That was a really good one, too. I really like that one.
Well, I told you I'd send you mine that I have in the box still, and you could send me that Frankfurt Arsenal, and you'd have 2 like you wanted. But you said no.
The only reason is because I want to have 2 of the same. So now you can send Sharinda that other Gen 6 so she can have 2 of the same.
No, see, I have to use that Gen 6 because my lovely Hornady auto charge is a pile of poo and does not feed powder.
So yeah, for every time I hear someone say they're thinking about getting one of the Hornady ones,
slap them.
I just cringe. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes. Do not buy the Hornady auto charge powder thrower. It's crap.
Not a fact of people not following directions. It's actually a POS.
Yes,
Correct.
it is the POS.
Wow.
Okay.
So, Mike, have you used that Gen 6 or is it still just in the box?
It's in the box. I haven't pulled it out yet because I haven't done any serious rifle loading in a while.
So Travis,
it'll be coming out in a week.
Your awesome Gen 6.
Yeah.
I had one of those for about an hour or 2. My son threw a empty box at me, and it missed me, and it hit me with the Gen 6, and it was no longer 0.
Wow.
Well, I mean, you can't blame the scale for that.
I can blame it. It needs to be tougher than that.
Is your son still alive?
Yeah, he lives next to Travis.
He ran away from home after doing that to Dad's scale.
So what I want to say on that Gen 6, and both Mike and Shrinda will learn this, is it's got a really nice feature to clean it. Like that's what I don't like about this Frankfurt Arsenal is it's a pain in the butt to take the powder out. But that Gen 6, it's got like you can take the hopper off, which pretty much all of these scales do. But it has the little flippy door that you flip up, and it has a little trap door that the powder comes out. Now, the cool feature that it has is to clean it, you can actually twist the tube, the dispensing tube out.
Oh, really?
So you pull it completely out, and then you can push on the panel where the powder comes out. You actually push on that, and it clicks out, and you can remove the whole powder dispensing unit out of it and get every kernel out. Clean the whole thing really nice, and you don't even have to lift it off the table.
That sounds like a winner. Which scale would y'all, between the two, which scale would y'all say y'all like best? That RCBS Charge Master or the Lyman?
Charge Master is better.
Probably Charge Master.
Okay.
Jason, what scale do you go to? What's your go-to scale? Okay. And Nick and Ray, I know Ray jumped up to get something. I'm not sure, but I think they're going to show us something.
Well, I can go Cabela's XT 1500. It's been a good scale for me. But I don't think the scale's as much as the problem is.
Again?
Hold it up again, please.
Yeah.
It's been a good scale for me. But my big thing is you need a good set of check weights. And I'm a firm believer every time you turn the scale on, let it warm up, you run a weight lower than what your charge is going to be and a weight higher. And if you're linear, if you match on the low end, you match on the high end, you're going to be one with your charge load.
Good advice. So, Sharenda, what scale are you using? Were you using, or are you using?
So I got the RCBS, the M500, or well, actually, maybe it's the same one Travis had. Which model was that? 505. Okay, that's the one I got.
Yeah, 505.
Yeah, it's a little old, but it still works. And then I got the Frankfurt Arsenal Pocket digital one. And then I've also been playing around with, and this is gonna sound crazy. There's a rechargeable that also has if you want, you can slap batteries in it, but it's a rechargeable rugged scale that they sell at the dispensaries. So I don't smoke, but if they're weighing that, I wanted to see how accurate they were, and the fact that it was rechargeable and weatherproof, I wanted to give it a spin. So I'm gonna be testing that out the next few weeks here.
Yeah, Sharenda just went in there to look.
I did. Well, no, actually, I know some people that got cards, and so I was like, well, what are you guys weighing your stuff with? And they told me about this brand, and I was like, are you serious? So I went in there and I asked the guy. I was like, hey, I need one of those. It was like $30. It's like, all right, charge it up and see how this calibrates. So we'll see.
I'm scrolling back up because I know Paul Nelson said what scale he's got, so I'm looking to find out where to go.
Is it the Sartorius?
I have no idea. I guess I don't see it. Whatever. So, Sharenda, here's some advice from
Wait, where's my screen?
here's some advice from Chris Sharp for you.
Match pairs. Okay. Damn it. Between Chris and Travis.
You do know how much that one is, right?
Yeah, but you know, on the private chat, I get a discount.
Yeah. But that one's the $1,000 scale.
Yeah, that's one has the dual.
Yeah, Chris, that probably won't be happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone in the chat tell me real quick. The really nice one it was the A&D like FX 120.
Something like that.
That's what Paul Nelson has.
Is that the one that looks like you're in a medical lab?
Yeah. Yeah, and then you can get, I think, Area 419 and some other companies. They make that sweet auto trickler setup for it.
A&D ointment, you said? What?
I know Gavin Tube on his channel, he's done a big review of it and stuff, and I could probably just jump over there real quick and tell you what it was. Let me grab that real quick. It's the Huawei.
So Hookem wanted to know what the $20 Amazon was that Travis has, and if he still likes it. GGW Reloading wants to know thoughts on the Dylan D Terminator.
Terminator.
So the one that it's going to be tricky though, because there's some videos you'd have to watch. it has to be this exact one. And this company made several different models, but it had to be this one because the other ones kind of sucked. But if you looked on YouTube, you would find all these videos. And I'm looking at it. It's the I'll put it in the chat, but it's the Huawei model number W-01-50. But the bad thing is, I don't think you can get these anymore on Amazon. But this for $20, this was the best scale for $20. But I don't use this very often anymore. Because it actually has an auto turn off feature, and this RCBS 750, it doesn't turn off until I do, so I can leave that turned on for as long as I'm doing my reloading session. And that other cheaper one, it turned off after like 3 minutes. Yeah, Hunt Shoot Off Road just put in the chat that those scales are no longer available.
Bummer.
That sucks. Oh. So.
Hey, Travis, real quick.
Maybe. Yeah, go ahead.
With your Frankfurt Arsenal, have you run into can't talk tonight? Any issues with extruded powder?
No, but I haven't done a full review on it yet. But let's see, I ran some 4064. I haven't ran any Varget or anything like that. Most of the stuff I've been running is a ball powder. But it seems to, especially if you, it has a learn feature where you can hit a button and it kind of learns the powder you're using. And it's been right on. The only problems I've had with it is the throw and the power button. I about have to put all my weight on them to I don't know what's going on. I've seen other videos where the guy can just, tap them and they go on, but mine are super stiff. And then
Travis, that ain't going to get any better. Just contact them and see if they'll fix it for you.
Oh, I thought you were going to say there's a pill for that or something. Then the other thing is the Bluetooth connect feature doesn't work all the time. But it is really cool to have on your phone an app. And then I've got several load data in my app, and I can fire that up and then just click let's just say I name one match ammo, and then I name one pistol ammo. I could just pull that up and I just put the powder in and click which one I want, and the info's already in there, and I can just hit go and I just start loading.
Okay.
Oh, I hope so, Sharinda. That'd be sweet.
I really do like those targets. I wasn't pulling your leg when I said I like them. The problem is every time I go shooting with some other lady, they get the touching on them, talking about, "Ooh, I like these. Can I have two?"
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mike, if
Travis,
yeah,
Travis, send Sharenda Grocer your business cards. Sharenda, give your friends the business cards instead of the target.
Right.
Hey, Shrenda, what you do in that situation is that bottle opener I sent you. You pull that out and you flip it around and you.
Oh,
don't touch my targets.
Aha.
Don't touch my targets.
Because you did realize that it's not just a bottle opener, right?
Yeah, I did.
So what I was going to say was if Mike has the time and can figure something out, maybe we'll give this away to one of our viewers.
There you go. So Fat Elvis said the D-Terminator is great. Yeah, see Sharenda, this one. Yeah, see.
And and here's the cool thing, Shrinda. If you look at it, it's got my logo on the front of it.
I don't even
So,
let that out my sight because I do hang around some beer drinkers. So I
So
hate.
do it like
if you put
this.
exactly like that, Mike, exactly. So if you imprint that on their forehead when they go home and look in the mirror, they'll be able to remember where to go to look for those paper targets.
That's right.
And the sad part is when I first got that and opened it, I was like, gee, I wonder. And I put it on and I was like, I'm not even going to ask because Travis might laugh at me for assuming such thing.
Well, the cool thing is I only have a limited supply, but I had Jason over at Concealment Solutions making Kydex holsters for those too. Did you get one of those, Mike?
Yep.
You did, yeah. So there's only a certain. Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
Oh my
Hold that
God!
back up.
Show the back of it,
Kydex.
Mike. It actually has a clip and everything to put on your belt.
What? Who's selling those again?
Those are special edition. You can't get them. You have to get them through me.
Oh, Lord. So let me go ahead and add that on to my Target order.
A holster for a beer bottle opener.
Yeah.
Your problem is what, Jim?
Oh no problem.
Because you got to be able to open those beers, the ones that don't twist off.
Well, it's like gotta have your drink, gotta have your juice.
Yeah. So yeah. If I was gonna buy one now and I had the money, I would probably get the Chargemaster. Even the Chargemaster Lite's nice. But the nice thing about the Chargemaster is you can separate it and you don't need to have. So
Nice, Jason.
oh, good grief.
So Paul Nelson, he put in it. The one I'm thinking of is the Auto Trickler V3. That's the really nice one. That Matchmaster seems pretty good, but I think it's $800 to $1,000. That's a lot for what it is.
Right.
And this Auto Trickler V3 is actually a scale that they use in like laboratories and stuff. So it's super precise, and that's why a lot of guys like it. And they've kind of just converted it over to use for reloading.
Yeah. Hello?
Uh-oh. Newbie.
Hello?
Professional.
Hello?
Hello?
I can't
Is
mute.
this the person to whom I am speaking?
Is this the party to whom I am speaking? I had to repeat it, Jason.
Lily Tomlin would be proud of y'all.
I had to repeat it, Jason, because somebody was making noise, so they didn't hear it.
Okay.
Yes. Plus, probably 3/4 or half of our audience probably has no idea what we were just talking about. So
Probably most of them don't because they're a bunch of kids.
right?
Children.
I'm sure Travis doesn't.
He doesn't get it.
Now Nick may because of Ray. So
Who is Lily Tomlin?
BuckeyeTargets.com.
Who is she?
Well, I've already had a couple people ask. The bottle openers are not on the website. Neither are the little holsters.
Chris Sharp's comment is, Travis, how can I give you money if you don't have the item on the website? Just PayPal to Travis's email account, Chris, and just don't worry about the merchandise.
I've already got some items on order for Chris anyway.
Oh, geez.
Will you ship them to him? Just curious.
Whatever you do, don't go through Iceland shipping. There's still a package up there in Wisconsin that's waiting on being shipped to North Carolina.
Yep.
Hey, didn't Mike say to both you and I, Jim, this weekend I'll get that mailed out? And that was like what, 4 weeks ago? He still hasn't mailed it?
more like 18 months ago.
Yeah, I finally sent Sharon to the shotgun press, so shut up.
Oh,
He sent me the tracking number, and I was like, whose is this? Because I was thinking, is this Jim's package? Did he finally got
So, yeah, Iceland shipping sucks.
At least he admits it.
Oh, crikey.
Well, the people watching, they're gonna. If anyone's
Okay.
interested in one of those bottle openers, you'll have to just figure out how to get a hold of me directly because I only have so many of them.
So, anyway.
Directly as in your cell phone number?
Jason,
What?
you don't be giving out cell phone numbers. They can find me on Instagram or somewhere. I don't do much on Facebook, but you can find me on Instagram. It's probably the easiest.
Oops.
I got it.
You didn't tell me it did. Not
Right here.
not
Right here.
Yeah, you guys, that's personal.
So,
I'll take one beer bottle opener in blackmail money, Travis.
Hey,
It
don't
doesn't
forget
even-
if you have my number, I have yours. And
Yes, you do.
we don't want to start this powder coat ALOX phone war.
oh God.
ALOX Nation. ALOX
what-
rules.
I think it was Paul Loud said this, and it was actually a good idea. I've seen where Full Lead Taco, he really likes the look of the kind of the bare lead. So he powder coats a lot of his stuff in a clear powder coat.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking you could take some clear powder coat and just add a tinge of brown to it.
Yep.
Make it look like Ayla.
Make it look like ALOX, and then
There you
you can still keep your pride, Jim, and get the benefits of the powder coat. No one will be the wiser.
Ain't happening, Travis. It's too easy for me to lube with ALOX.
We're not in the we can't go down that road today.
Nope. Okay. So, Nick and Ray, we've kind of gone way off the rails here from why you guys are here. But we did answer a couple of Milsurp questions. So, handguns. What do you have for Milsurp handguns? And what's your favorite to shoot? And do you load for it? And if so, what's the process for loading for handguns?
For handguns?
Probably my favorite Milsurp handgun that I own is probably currently my 1917 Smith & Wesson.
Okay.
Either that or with reloading 45, pretty simple. 45 brass you can get about anywhere.
Yep.
I just do a light load, so I'm just putting holes in paper with it. Standard. I've either cast the bullet, which we haven't done that in a long time, or I'll just pick up base 45 caliber bullets, whatever's on sale. Yeah, and I say about 45 is forgiving. You can shoot about anything through a revolver, especially. And then with the Tokarov, I'm converting 223 brass right now. I started with that, but I found some issues. So I'm buying Starline brass for that. I've noticed issues with the converting of the brass, but it's just as cheap to buy Starline in the long run. And I'm using a actually 110 grain M1 carbine bullet. Is so far the best bullet I've found.
Okay.
For that. So I've been playing with some cast bullets, but nothing is working as well as I would like it to right now. But
Yeah. So when you were casting, what weight were you casting?
I wasn't casting bullets. I was buying from a Missouri Bullet Company. Had some 32 cal.
You were buying cast.
Yeah, I was buying cast. It was cheaper in the long run.
Yeah.
As hard as some of those small bullets are to cast, I was like, I might as well. I can buy 1,000 of them for. I pay $60-$70 at most.
Yeah.
And I just size them down just a little bit, and other than that, they're good to go.
I'm not a big pistol shooter. I shoot
No.
more rifle than I do pistol.
So speaking of rifle, Paul Nelson wants to know, have you ever moved a shoulder in order to reload a gun?
Never really moved the shoulder because we start on a bottleneck case. You start moving the shoulder, you're going to start messing with headspace. because it's all based off that the datum point. I can't think of the correct term on the shoulder. You can slightly, but I think you're going to create other issues. That's why you're better off just dealing with what you got and neck sizing it. That way, it's already fitting in the chamber at that point. It's not going to swell anymore.
Ray, you got the term right. It's a datum line.
That's what I thought.
If you had,
Unless it's a straight wall.
yeah, that's If you had to pick a handgun, what would it be and reloading for?
Probably 9mm. I mean, it's like
Yeah, P38 stuff like that.
P38, my Glocks, of course, and stuff like that.
So with the Tokarev, I've heard, I haven't started loading for mine yet, but I've heard that there's, I guess there can be difficulties. Is there any special tricks or anything that people need to know about when loading for Tokarev? Obviously, it's a bottleneck pistol cartridge, so that in itself is a little different, but
Yeah, but I don't think it's pretty straightforward, actually.
It's pretty straightforward, especially when you use. Because as I talked last week, I do a little bit of 300 blackout reloading, so I use the squirrel
Chop
daddy.
saw?
No, that's the jig.
Yeah, no, but yeah, the
Squirrel daddy.
squirrel daddy jig on the Harbor Freight chop saw. I made a little. I don't know how well it's going to show up. We found, and this is all this stuff's out there on the internet. We made a little aluminum block.
Because the squirrel daddy is for 300 blackout.
So we took a little aluminum block, put it in there, took a standard 223 case. What that does, that sets it back so you can chop it. And then what'll come out to do is look like that
Once you chop
once you chop it, and then you run it through your die. So it'll turn into the bottleneck cartridge that it is, and then trim it.
okay.
So that's using 223 brass.
It's your same
Okay.
process of doing 300 blackout.
Yeah.
You'll read a lot of things on when you convert 223 for Tokarev. A lot of them want you to reduce the inside diameter because they're wanting you to run a 312 bullet.
Yeah, 312.
312
Yeah.
bullet. But if you look at all the commercial ammo you buy nowadays, it's all 308 diameter bullet. So that's why Nick was saying we use the M1 carbine bullets. It's pretty close. It's a little bigger in weight size, but being 308, it cycles fine, shoots good.
Okay.
I'm getting, let's see my data for that. I'm not gonna say powder load, but I'll tell us what we're getting. So I'm getting I can say the powder if I have it on here. I don't, of course. But I'm getting average velocity of 1159, extreme spread of 259 because it's, with the way that gun's set up, it's basically, it kind of destroys the primers on them. It's meant to be a sub gun.
Yeah, it's not really meant
So,
to be.
but other than that, it's a pretty nice shooting gun. So, yeah. Another thing you'll run into on Tokarev, if you do, especially on the PPS 43s, the primers will crater and
Okay.
they'll scare you. They're known for that because they're meant for full automatic fire.
They're
Right.
Hot loads, yeah. They're meant to be fired hot. So,
So Paul Nelson wants to know, next comment, Nick or Ray, that means you've never had to make a case you can't buy?
Oh, yes. I mean, when I first got an 8mm, I made my 8mm cases out of 270 or 30-06. 7.7 Jap, I've made out of 270, 30-06. I've made cases, but you always run the issue. If you make it out of a 30-06 and you shoot a 30-06, you can always, there's always a chance of getting cross-contaminated brass and having issues. So I've learned, okay, once I've mastered that process, and PPU makes all this reproduction brass, you're not saving much by making your own brass. Just go ahead and buy the correct head stamp brass and make that. But the proof of concept to prove you can do it, yeah, I've done that. Well, right here, I got, this is
millimeter.
yeah, 8mm Mauser. That's made on 270 brass. I think see it.
Yep, Remington 270 brass.
Yeah, Remington 270 brass, and just
Okay.
and that's as simple as just
Yeah.
cutting it in your saw to close to the overall length, giving it a light e-nail, size it, then trim it to length. I mean, it's, and like I say, if you're going to do any case conversions, this is the best book to get. I mean, a lot of the methods they use
Are outdated.
well, they're kind of outdated because they're gonna want you to have a lathe to turn the neck sometimes to recut the extractor groove. But if you do some searching out there and a lot of the forums, there's a lot easier ways to do the conversion.
Is there a way I can share my screen, Mike? So I can show something real quick?
Let's see here.
You should have a share screen icon on the very bottom center of the screen, Nick. Do you see your mute, stop cam mic,
Yep,
share
I
screen?
got it. There we go.
Okay.
Show. I'm just going to show the one brass page. There we go. I don't know if I'm on that or not. Am I on the Buffalo Arms page? I don't know. I can't see my thing right now.
You were.
Okay.
You were. Yeah, stop right there.
Okay.
There's
So this
41
is the new cartridge I'm getting ready to reload. This is the 41 Swiss for my Vetterli. And I could pay, if I wanted to, $1.89 per piece of brass. But if you look right here, it's 8x51 label, which is still a standard PPU made cartridge. So what I'll do is I have brass on order. Once I get that in, I'll just do some cutting, resizing, and annealing. That should be good to go. I'm into it for 3/4 of what it's going to cost me to do this. So, but yeah, if you have any oddball cartridges, this Buffalo Arms is the place to go. I've found they can get kind of expensive, but if they don't have what you're looking for, more than likely it's not going to be found. So.
All right. I'm stuck on something quick, so.
Actually, as far as case converting the 30-06 to 7.7 Jap, actually, it's quite simple, and I've had really good luck with that. I mean, that's as far as one of Milsurp rifles, 7.7 Jap, the Arisaka is one of my favorites to shoot. Smooth, little to no recoil, quite accurate, cast bullet. Now, the Japanese got a bad rap with some of their guns, and they're perfectly fine. Actually, the Arisaka action is one of the strongest actions there is.
That's like going back to, I don't remember who had the question on the 6.5 Jap. Looking in the book right now, you can use 270 brass for that just as well. You just got to swage it a little bit and size the neck down to the 264 diameter. Other than that, yeah, you're good. So,
and with any case conversion, I think there's 7 steps that you're going to want to use. And the first is you're going to want to trim the brass to the rough overall length of the new case cartridge you're going to do. Once it's trimmed, you're going to want to anneal the case. Then I size the case in the new die without the expander ball. Then what I'll do, I will I'll fire form it, which is normally 10% of your charge weight you're going to use. Top that off with just a little bit of toilet paper, then a cream of wheat, then another little wad of toilet paper. Put that in the gun you're going to use it in. Take it to the range, fire it, bring it back to the house, resize it again, trim to final length, then you can load. And actually, if you're going to, well, like I said, you're going to use it in that gun, you really don't have to size it again, but it's just a good habit to size it again, then do your final trim length, and you're set. I mean, it's at that point, it may be marked 30-06 or 270, but you'll have, for instance, 7.7 brass. And I've gotten the habit of putting different line marks like 2 black lines and a green line telling me it's 7.7 brass. And I've got quite a bit of brass that way, but lately I've been buying the new marked 7.7 brass.
Interesting. Thank you.
But I wouldn't let anybody scare them away from trying it, especially if they've already got the guys.
Yeah.
And there again, don't load them hot, load them to starting loads and go from there.
Yeah. CSR Industries wants to know what mold you're using.
For which gun? Pretty much all our molds are Lee molds.
Yeah, we haven't really expanded out and get into the NOEs and
some of the other ones.
For what we do, we've had good luck with the Lee.
Yeah.
That's like, I don't know if I wonder if he's talking about my new one. So the new mold is it's a by Lee dual cavity, 430 diameter, 310 grain. So it's a
we haven't cast it.
It's a pretty good size. Yeah, these just came in the other day, so this will be an interesting one to.
Each one of those cavities holds 3/4 of an ounce of lead.
Yeah, it'll be a big sucker going down range. So yeah, nice thing about Lee molds, they're pretty inexpensive, and
you had $18.
Yeah, $18. So that like this Vetterly, I didn't know Lee was going to make a mold, so I was expecting to be spending $50-$75 on a mold, but I'm fortunate enough Lee makes a.
The only real issue with that one, that's a flat base bullet.
Yeah,
is where the actual Vetterly shot a semi hollow base bullet, kind of like a Minier. It's not as deep as a Minier, but it's got a small curtain on it.
So what do you do to compensate for that, or you just load it as is?
You load it regular. And they recommend softer lead. I mean, use like a pure lead 7 Burnell. That way it bites the rifle.
I think we're gonna try that. We're gonna do when we get ready to cast for this. I'm gonna try some of my 15 Burnell and some pure lead, and we're gonna shoot and see how they shoot. So
okay,
we're just playing around at that point.
And then check for leading and stuff too.
Yep. I've even thought about. I don't know. We'll know when we shoot it. If the 15 Burnell works good, I might experiment powder coating.
Okay.
I already powder coat, but I might try experimenting powder coat on them. I think it would look kind of cool. Like it looks very similar to like a large 44 Magnum. That's actually a really good size, and I think it'd be cool with like I already do powder coating for my 8mm Mannlicher. So just doing that red or that blue, I think it look pretty cool.
Save us having to panel.
Yeah.
Hey Nick, just because you did that, I want to do something special just for our viewers. So this is all of those bottle openers I have left. These things cost me like $25 a piece. For the first person watching right now that types in the comments, A-Lock sucks, I'll send one. So for the first guy who types in A-Lock sucks, I'll send him one.
No, let's get on Jim's bad side.
Jim and I have fun with this. At least I do.
Powder coating sucks. Sure Type Jim that in too, and he'll send you one to the next person. Now, guess what, Travis? You got to send that to Australia. Nope, CSR sucks. CSR Industries got it.
CSR.
I vote for VEMGM. Even Australia.
You can shut your mouth, Jim.
$75 shipping. $75
I have no
shipping
clue how much
damn bottle opener to Australia.
Okay. CSR, get me your I think we've talked somewhere, another platform. We'll figure out, get me your address.
So Eat Bacon wants to know, do you 9 and 223 guys mark your brass before shooting so you can pick it up and put it in an already swage pile so you can skip that on to round 2?
I'm kind of exempt from this question because I run it through the 1050, which swages every single time.
No, I don't. So, I mean, if you're at the range, it's okay. Most everybody I know of that is shooting competition, they're not marking their brass because more often than not, how are you going to mark it so you can easily identify it in the half second you've got to pick it up? So, plus theoretically, depending on how you're swaging, it wouldn't actually expand it any further. So,
yeah, once that crimp's removed, it's removed. But a lot of guys who shoot competition do mark it because they want to get their brass back because kind of like Nick and Ray are doing, they're taking time to get that brass set up for them. So these guys shooting competitions, they want to just make sure that they get back their brass because they've already done a lot of work on it.
Yeah, I've seen people take different color Sharpies and paint their primer a different color. That way when they pick it up, they know it's theirs. They know it's a case, how many times it's been sized, how many has it been swaged or not. So there's different ways of marking them.
Yeah, there's a bunch of companies, but one off the top of my head is called Range Panda, and they do a lot of 3D printed parts, and they sell a pretty nice little setup that you can put 1 or 2 Sharpies in different colors, and then you stick your brass in and give it a twist.
Okay.
And it actually marks it for you. So guys shooting competition, they can all do it, mix up their colors. Then they can, when they're picking up brass, they'll know whose is whose.
At your 3-gun matches, they let you bring loaded ammo, or do you have to bring factory ammo?
No, you can do whatever you want.
Can you? Okay.
Like I don't shoot any factory ammo.
Okay.
And in fact, I'd say it's about 50-50.
so
I like Chris Sharp's comment. Highlight that, would you, Mike?
Yeah.
Says even you still have to beware of the brass goblins, even if you mark your brass. So since Chris threw that up there, for all those who know Hunt Shoot Off Road, he's sent out. I didn't send out, but he's got a really nice shirt. I know Nick's got one. Hopefully he's grabbing it here. I think Shrinda, you got one, don't you?
I got a shirt. I'm getting ready to get a hoodie here too.
And aren't you going to get a giant coffee mug?
So I'm trying to hold out to see if he's gonna do PVC patches because I keep throwing that out there at him.
That's odd. I would have thought you would have been one of the very first ones to get that giant coffee mug.
Dude, I wanted it, but I had to pick and choose my battles here at home, and the coffee mug was a thumbs down.
Yeah. So for those who are listening and stuff, go over to huntshootoffroad.com and pick up one of his really sweet brass goblin shirts, hoodies, or coffee mugs.
I'll go grab mine.
They're awesome. It's my favorite hoodie right now, and I get a lot of people who double take, look at it and then have to look again, and then they start laughing after they realize what it actually means.
Gollum.
One thing I've done to make sure I get my own brass back, especially when I'm shooting matches, I got this brass deflector built onto my AR, and if you look in the Dillon catalog, this is where I got it from, the Dillon catalog. When it does it, this bounces off your back, and drops them right at your feet.
It hits right there and just drops it right
at your feet. So you won't have to change. The pop at your feet is your brass.
Yeah, nice. anything like that really helps.
Say it again.
I said I like that because anything that can do that for you really helps out.
Yeah.
Is Isn't
Go
that
ahead.
called isn't that called a brass deflector made for
There is a
softball?
blast reflector. Yeah. It's
Well, I
put out by,
noticed the older
put out
you
by
get.
TC Accessories.
Sorry, I'm sorry, Ray. Would you say that one more time? I was talking over
Made
you.
by TC Accessories. I mean, get on
CC
there.
Accessories.
Easy.
TC.
TC Accessories. Okay.
That'd be Tango Charlie.
Yeah, they make them for the flat top, the carry handle. They've got them to go under.
I gotta modify mine for my
Yeah.
scope.
So they make several different models depending on what type of AR you got. If the guys that are really picky about their brass, it will kind of leave the case mouth slightly D-shaped, like you do on an M Grand, but it's nothing your sizer ball won't take care of.
Paul Nelson has a question for you, Travis.
Well, Paul Nelson, do I need to? Because it's
Read his
really light
question.
shooting for me right now.
Read his question.
Well, you're saying that like I'm not manly enough. Says at Travis, when are you going to start shooting 9mm major? I don't think I need to, but if you think I need to, I'll load up some more. I've just loaded up. I've custom tuned my ammo to my pistol.
There you go.
Well, Travis, don't you shoot quite a bit of 45 ACP?
I don't shoot any 45 ACP.
Oh,
That's one you got.
I used to have a 1911, and then I got rid of it. I've got 5-gallon bucket of brass there, molds. I've got projectiles. I've got everything to load and cast for. I just need to get me another pistol.
There you go.
okay, my mistake.
So Nick and Ray, out of all your milsurps, what do you say is your favorite?
I'm a 1903 Springfield fanatic. Something about the old school bolt action. I can hit what I aim at with that. I like the long sight radius. It's got the thin front post. It just fits me really well. That's my favorite. And I get my best scores when I shoot a 1903. So
Mine would have to be too many to choose from. Probably my AG-42 Youngman. That's a sweet shooting rifle. Haven't shot a lot of it yet because it throws brass about a mile away, it feels like. But other than that, it's very accurate. Nice thing about it, you can shoot cast and regular full mo jacket 6.5 bullets in it because the sight's set up that you can switch it out. Other than that, it's the first direct gas impingement rifle ever designed. So I say it's the precursor to the AR in a way. But other than that, no, very light recoiling with it being a 6.5 cartridge. But other than that, I'm more into the European firearms. Dad's into a lot of the U.S. stuff. We have both, but I'm starting to collect more of the European. Like this one's a Swiss. Look at some South American stuff right now. Looking at a Dutch couple. Yeah, I'm expanding my collection. He's stuck on the U.S. I don't know why.
try to keep going back further.
Well, your pocketbook's not going to like that. That's for sure.
I've got everything from modern U.S. all the way back to the Civil War. Now I got to go back further than that.
There you go.
I have me on full screen. We were talking about this before the live stream. When you buy any brass, so this is standard 303 British brass. We were going through brass earlier today, and we found this. And this was in a brand new bag of factory Winchester 303 British. We're thinking it's more like it was just a production error when they went through the die. But other than that, there's really not much you can do about it. So you don't want to go grabbing just willy-nilly in your bag. So if you try to put that sizing die, more than likely your die is going to be shot. You'll have to buy a lot of new parts for your die. So
now what you're showing, that right there, that piece of brass, it's kind of, the shoulders looks like it's crushed a bit, right?
And that's what, if you look at them side by side, it looks like the shoulder crushed in. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and that brings up a good point. I know there's been a lot of topics. Do you resize your brand new brass? I do. But I've heard a lot of people just take it right out of the bag and loading it and go. But we're no more than it takes to resize it. Because it's bounced around that bag and shipping on a shelf, and God knows how many times it's been dented and dropped. So I always check my brass and size it.
All right, guys. Anything else you want to talk about tonight?
No, nothing right now. I know something. Whenever we get this finished up, I'll be doing some video. If you want, I can kind of show how that process works. And with this rifle, we can kind of maybe put that on the page if you want.
Okay. Sounds like a good idea.
What's your YouTube channel name?
I don't have a YouTube channel. I'm not a person that likes to put all my stuff out there, because with the way the internet is today, anybody can find pretty much where I live. So I might make it private and I can share it with people.
And there's that process where we have you went with the first to do.
And I'm not the first to do it. But
Yeah, you can make private channels on YouTube.
Yeah, I might. That's
you give out the link.
Yeah. Sharenda, I need to get your shipping information from you later, because I got that letter I have to send you.
Oh, awesome.
Remember you talked to me about that on Discord?
Yeah, you hadn't messaged me back, so I figured you were still waiting to hear back from your friend.
I have it. I just been so busy with work. I need to get your information. I might, because I'm heading to St. Louis this week. I might just ship it on the way down there, so it's even closer.
Hold on, you're handing out free lead?
No, it's not free lead. It's cheaper than roto metal. So it's range pickup scrap melted down, which we've always had luck with. And it's already, once you melt it, it's already at a 15 Bernal hardness, which is not perfect. So. Yeah, I got it we can get it for you. I got it for you for like $2 a pound. So that's pretty cheap right now.
Sharenda, you wanted to see, I don't know if you saw this or not. You came in late, but did you see this?
I saw that on
Instagram, I know.
Instagram, and I thought that was pretty cool. And then I mumbled bragger.
Where'd you get that, Jim?
I made it.
You made it.
Okay, I was gonna say it looks exactly like the ones I've made and sent to Mike.
Yep. This is 1.5 by 2 angle. The cavities are 1.5 by 1.5 angle, and it's like 5 inches long. And I'm going to estimate 2 pounds per bar.
Yeah, you're right.
5 inches long. But anyway.
I thought that was neat, and I was like, bragger.
No.
Yeah, Trenda, I made up a bunch of those, and that exact one looks exactly like the ones I made. And Mike's got a set or two of those.
He does.
And they're nice to cast, to make your ingots out of, because some of those round ones, like depending on your pot, depends on how big you get, they don't fit in your melting pot, but those longer, skinnier ones are really nice to drop into your pot.
This is also made out of 1/4 inch steel too. It's not 1/8 inch like most people do. This will last. It'll take a lot of heat.
Okay.
All right, gang. Anybody else got any shout outs?
I didn't get a lot of questions this week, so I don't have much to add to that.
Okay.
Well, I just want to, if Idaho Rogers, if you're listening, I just want to let you know I appreciate you, and I'm sorry for your loss, and I'll talk to you soon. And then if that Aussie's listening, I ain't got nothing for you.
Which Aussie?
Well, I like Vemgian.
No, there you go. All right, gang. On that note, thanks to everybody who takes time to join us for the live, and thanks to everybody who hits the like button when they're watching. So appreciate all the thanks on that. Appreciate everybody who sends us emails, reloadingpodcast@gmail.com. Appreciate everybody who sends us texts to 608-467-0308. And thank you to all of our Patreons. And on that note, keep your brass shiny.
Unmute yourself, Jason.
Don't tell me what to do.
Okay. Great tagline.
Be an
You're
asset,
an ass,
not a
period, Jason.
liability.
Wow.
Jim, I think he was talking to you. Didn't he just say, don't be an asshat?
Whatever.
Stay away from 40.
Nick
Y'all
and Ray,
ladies.
have it.
When you reload,
Nick, Ray, say it again, please.
you're never shorter on ammo when you reload.
There you go.
Unless you didn't stock up on primers like somebody. And show a lady how to reload. There's actually more that like learning how to do it than you think.
By the way, thanks for the backup, Jason. Anyway, my tagline, support the Second Amendment. You know what you got to do.
All right, everyone. Thank you much, and good night.
Good night.